Okay, I like when they get close to me,
Mm.
but like close enough, not too much. It's just like I like them close and eye contact, and um, I don't like them. I like them like physical contact, but like in my shoulder, but that will turn me on. Like, well, not turn me on, like, but I
You
like
like
them.
it, yeah.
I like them too, like on my shoulder. But I don't like. There's some guys that like to touch here, like, oh, and it's
It's too much.
too much. Yeah.
What about on the back, lower back?
On the lower back?
Maybe not right away?
Yeah, not right away. Just here on the shoulder.
On the shoulder.
Maybe here, like.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Here. Yeah.
Okay. I had a question. You said standing close. One thing I noticed is that distance, a lot of our clients have a problem with that. They, we'll talk, I'll see them approaching women, and they'll either get too close, like invading the personal space, and then sometimes they're too timid.
Yeah.
And what I noticed, I didn't do this consciously, but what I noticed is if you can stand close enough where you're just feeling the body heat of the other person,
yeah,
that's usually the right distance.
Yeah, exactly.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I agree with that. Plus, it's I think it's like a cultural difference. I think.
Right. Yeah.
We Latin people are very. I don't know if it's even a word.
Kinesthetic.
Kinesthetic.
Mm-hmm.
So we're very like touchy and huggy, and so and maybe European people are more like their space. It's like here, maybe you will be invading my space,
Mm-hmm.
But I don't mind it. Like even if they talk to me on my ear, I find it really like sexy.
Okay. That's interesting. I definitely notice with Hispanic women or Latin women, I don't know what the correct term is, but that's typically my preference. I live in Florida, and I think dark-haired women especially are really attractive, and especially Hispanic women. They seem to be a little more passionate. They're more physical, and I also like to be a little more aggressive, a little more direct when I first meet a woman.
Yeah.
And they seem to respond to that. And do you think that being Hispanic, you prefer a guy to be a little more aggressive, a little more, not sexual in terms of like disrespectful, but showing that he's turned on by you and being...
Yes, definitely. Sometimes here when I talk to my group of friends, there's a couple of people that I don't talk too much with, and they come to me and they start talking, and they're like cold, or they're just like if you feel they are interested in you, they have to show it. They don't have to be like expecting you to show it first.
Gotcha.
So I like them to show it, not tell you like I like you, not like that.
Right.
Just like okay, but I don't know. Just when you have like a nice conversation, and if they say a joke and then you respond with a joke, and then just like I don't know,
Well,
like,
so it sounds like the conversation can be. It doesn't sound like you have high standards for conversation. Some women we talk to, I know you're intelligent. You like guys who are intelligent, sense of humor. But some women we talk to are very interested in, wittiness and having a really stimulating conversation. It sounds like for you it's okay if it's light. You said you like small talk.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be like the most interesting conversation in the world, as long as it's positive.
Exactly.
And
that comes after.
Right. Yeah, once you get to know each other.
Yeah.
But what's really important to you is that they show you in between the lines, like with their body, their eye contact, the way they touch you, that they're interested, they like you. Okay.
Yeah.
I know that I've heard from Hispanic women that white men, they tend to kind of rule white men out sometimes because they are like that. They're a little cold. They're a little more timid, and we've also heard from other women we talk to that who have traveled that American guys are actually the most timid out of all the other nationalities.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe. Well, I have the concept of European people, but not, for example, guys from France. Um, they're very they're not cold. Maybe emotionally speaking, they're cold. But when it comes with the
Physical.
Physical
Physicality.
stuff. Yeah, they're very, very. They go for it, and sometimes that is just okay.
You need the warmth too.
Yeah, I need the warmth, emotionally.
Okay.
So I've never had I've never dated an American guy actually. I think.
What kinds of guys do you date?
I've dated. Do you want me to tell you from what nationality? Or
yeah, well, I mean, you say American guys as if that's a type. I mean.
Yeah.
Do you travel a lot?
Not a lot, but yes. Yeah.
So, are you dating men from other countries? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
From. They're mainly all Latin. I think.
Latin. Okay.
From Brazil, Mexicans, Venezuelan, I think. But I've dated from Spain and British guys.
Is that something that you look for, or are those the only guys that come to you?
They come to me. They come to me. I guess I have a Latin written on my forehead, right?
Well, yeah, you look Latin. Yeah.
And I don't know. I like the warmth, and I don't know. But right now, with them talking about the British, at the beginning he was very cold, totally put a wall in front of you're not trespassing, And now I think I managed my way through it. It's just yeah, because I always say straight. I'm very straight. So, for example, if you can look in his face that he's upset, and then at the beginning I would be like, "You're upset," and he'd be like, "No, perfect." And I was like, "You're upset," and now he's just like, "Yeah, well, this thing happened," and blah blah blah. So I don't know.
What made you care? What about him made you wanna get through that?
Probably because it was a challenge. Not that I said here's my challenge, but it's just the guys that are harder to. I think that's what all women do. The guy that's harder to get to know, or harder to get, is the one that interests us the most, I think.
And was he in your group of friends, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he was in my class. So.
In what college?
Acting.
Acting class.
School. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you told me about that.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's talk about a situation where you were friends with a guy. Maybe not this one specifically, but where you perceived him more as a friend and you weren't interested.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, has there ever been a time when the guy did something, or it became more than friends?
Yeah.
Where you weren't thinking about him like that, and then you were.
And then I was?
Yeah.
No. Really, really close friends?
Not so much close, but just the guy who you're friends with, and you're not thinking about him in romantic ways, and then
they do something.
Yeah.
Yeah, something. Yeah, it happened before. Something changes, but you don't know exactly what it is. There's sometimes that you just watch him, and you can be talking to him, and he's just your friend, and then he stands up and does this movement. I don't know, and then you're just something changed, and then he sensed it, I guess, and then you just start flirting, and you know that something changed, and that has happened to me before a lot.
A lot of things that women seem to be bringing up are they observe men doing things outside of women. It's like the guy's living his life or being himself regardless of her. It's not something he said to her It's not something he did to woo her or seduce her. It's he's doing something over here and she observes it. Could be his lifestyle, could be the way he carries himself with other people. And that's something you were just talking about is, maybe you notice a guy, maybe he stands up and he moves a certain way, or he's not doing that for you,
but he just,
but you notice it.
Yeah, what I really found, what I really find appealing is somebody that it's really nice to somebody else. That's not me. But if I'm just watching, for example, kids, I find really, really, really appealing if a guy is just like, it's like with a kid, like playing with him, and not because I'm thinking, oh, I want to have babies with him, not at all, but it's just like, I find it cute and it shows he's sensitive. I don't know.
I learned that when I was in high school. We'd do a soccer camp for younger kids, the players on the soccer team, and I just so happened to be put with the 6 and 7 year olds, like the youngest group. I didn't know what I was doing at first, but we just have fun. We kind of shoot water bottles at each other and try to teach them soccer or whatever. And some of the other girls, the girls who were on the girls team, they were out there too, and they noticed that. And like when at lunch, we broke for lunch, and they were like, "Oh my God, Brian, that was so cute." I was like, mental note. Okay.
It's really, really, really nice. I like it. And kids and other people just, I don't know. For example, if one of my friends somebody's crying, let's put it like as an example, and this guy comes and helping that person, and it's like, are you okay? Do you need anything? And I really love when somebody's caring, somebody cares about others' feelings. So I just see it and I'm like, oh,
cool.
Yeah, I like it.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about what kind of first date would you want a guy to take you on? Or maybe it wouldn't be a date that he takes you on. The first time you hang out with a guy where it's just you and him. What do you like? I mean, do you like something formal like dinner? Or?
I mean, no. Dinner is for like later on.
Oh, okay.
I prefer, if he takes me out to dinner, it's cool. But I prefer some things, like different stuff. Like, I don't know, I'm the kind of person that likes to go for a picnic, for example, or just to go and watch the stars. Or, for example, here in New York, I love the promenade. The promenade in Brooklyn Heights. When you cross the Brooklyn Bridge, there's a promenade, so you see all Manhattan.
Oh, wow.
So that's for me like, whoa, and just be there sitting on a bench and talking and just having fun. That's what I would love.
Cool. There's definitely a common theme we see with investors and idealists where, the idealist side of you is more about the values, not so much handling day-to-day tasks with the guy, but more getting to know each other intellectually, spending time with each other, just the concept of being together, and then that affection that they share.
Even if you're not talking, you can have great, silent moments.
Comfortable silences.
And that will be lovely too.
And going with that is that investor aspect where it's not so much, a tester would be more like, let's try something new or taking out to dinner. And, or an investor is thinking more about how you're going to be with this person later. So why start out where you're impressing me with dinner and paying for things? Why would we start out that way? Let's do what we would be doing 6 months from now. Let's do it right now and see if it works.
Exactly. Yeah. I've been in that situation, and I'm not the kind of girl that gets impressed with people buying me stuff. Of course, I'm a girl, I wouldn't mind. But I'm not the kind of girl that I would be falling in love with somebody just because he brings me to the great places in the world to have dinner or stuff like that. You know?
Do you ever feel that the guys are trying to impress you with like, their money or trying to show off for you?
Yeah, some. Not all of them, but some. And then I'm just like, no. Just that I met a guy and he was really always talking about his trips and and I went to this place and well and I bought this bottle of wine and blah blah and I'm just like boring, like I don't care. you know. So I just like guys talking about I don't know, something that interests them instead of just trying to show off. And yeah, I've had a lot of them like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, being that you're a J, a justifier, sometimes it's difficult, I find, when I'm talking to justifiers, to get the exact specific details about how they work, because I'm a justifier too, and you can always see two sides to things, and you can explain this. There's a rationale for this. There's also a rationale for this.
Yeah.
I like to think it's because we're smart, but maybe maybe we're not so smart. Maybe we're not as smart as we think.
What, you're asking why?
Well, no.
Think too much?
No, not necessarily.
Because
What I want to ask you is, tell me how. Let's say we don't know each other. Let's say I see you. Do you ever go to like Starbucks and read, or do you do things like that? Let's say I see you in Starbucks, okay, and you're sitting there, maybe reading, working on your laptop. And I go up and I get my drink, and I'm on my way out. I see you. Tell me what to do if I want to meet you, if I'm attracted to you.
First, maybe ask if the seat is available, and then just sit and drink your coffee without talking to me at the beginning. And I'll be like, yes, sit. I mean, and then I'll just keep on working on my stuff or reading. And then they're just like, what's your name? I mean, I don't like guys to come and like, hey, so why are you reading? Or something. And you're just like, what do you care?
Right.
So I like them to be smooth, and then just like, oh, I don't know. If I'm reading, then just like, oh, that would be awesome if somebody said like, oh, I read that book, or I don't like anybody to make things up, but I mean, like trying to find something that connects you.
Okay.
And just start from there. And I don't know exactly how.
That's okay.
But just not invading my space.
Not invading your space.
Yeah.
Okay. For me, sometimes it's hard, and I know this is true for a lot of guys. Sometimes it's hard to think of something that would connect us. Think of something situational or something interesting to say, because a lot of times if this woman is so attractive that you want to meet her, you're willing to go out of your way to meet her.
Yeah.
A lot of times it's hard to think of that stuff because you're
just like looking.
You're like, wow, and that she's just filling your mind with her beauty.
So just say it.
Okay.
I mean, if you find somebody.
What's something a guy could say? Because I know that women say, the guys will say like disrespectful things, crude things. What's a way I could approach you and say something direct, say something honest about what I'm really interested in, or not what I'm interested in, but what I really first noticed, which would be your beauty.
Well, just say it like I think you're pretty. I mean, but it's the way. If you say like, oh, you're so hot, or I don't know. It's just
you
the way,
do this.
like,
Yeah, that kind of tells me that it's phony,
it feels
right?
like man, It's
okay.
Just, but if you go like honestly, I just think you're really pretty, and that's it. And there's the other extreme would be like, I think you're pretty, like
timid.
Just,
one's cocky, one's timid.
Yeah, I just like the middle.
Right in the middle.
Like, I think you're pretty. That's it. I'll be like, Thank you.
Cool.
I appreciate it.
Can I sit down?
Of course. Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. That's interesting.
Yeah.
What about, let's say on the street and you're walking somewhere, and the guy has to be pretty aggressive to get you to stop, especially in New York. Girls are just gonna keep walking.
Yeah.
Because they have their guard up, you know.
Yes, of course. What would they have to say in order for me to stop?
Yeah. How could a guy get you to stop and talk to him for like 2 minutes?
Let me think. Because I've had guys that go and they're like, whoa, where are you going? And you're just like, get out of my way. I mean, they have to. I don't know exactly. Let me think.
He would probably have to tell you honestly why he stopped you.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, hey, I'm sorry to bother you. I don't know. I just want to say, maybe if they're just like, I just want to say, I think I find you really attractive. I'll be like, okay, thank you. So I mean, can we talk a little bit? I mean, how are you busy? That will be something that I care. Like, are you busy? Do you have time to talk a little bit? I'll be like, maybe at the beginning, I always will be like, okay, yeah, and yeah. So I mean.
And then you feel them out, and if you're not interested, you say, okay, I gotta get going.
Yeah, I'm kind of in a hurry. Sorry.
But if you are interested, you'll stay and talk to them.
Yeah, I'll stay.
Cool. That's interesting.
Yeah.
So, how about in a bar? And you're going to be surrounded by your guy friends, which is pretty common for attractive women. They tend to bring a lot of guy friends. I don't know. I think there is part of it that it's like it's a protective thing.
Yeah.
But then, you know, you said also that you just like to hang out with guys.
Yeah.
So, there's all these guys around, big, tough Hispanic guys.
Yeah.
and a guy sees you and he wants to talk to you.
Pretty much they're like, they wait until I stand up and go to the bathroom, and then they'll stop me. Or if I notice that there's like a connection, then I'll find my way to get out of there. No, not get out of there, but go to the bathroom or go, I don't know, go out for some air.
So you'll make yourself available somehow.
Somehow, if I feel really, really attractive. If I feel like I don't like it, then I'll just be like, stay with my friends and just.
So he's gonna be looking at you,
yeah.
And if you find him attractive, you'll look back.
Yeah.
Maybe make a little eye contact. Is that true?
Yeah.
Do you do that? Do you send guys that signal with your eyes?
Yes.
You do. Are you sure? Because women always say, like, you know, I give guys signals or I'll make eye contact.
But it's not like eye contact like you're just staring at them like this. It's just like a quick one.
Quick? That's pretty quick.
Yeah, it's like a quick one. When you notice they're looking at you, just like a quick one, and then you just a little smile, and then you go back to your stuff, and then just like and then another.
Do you ever do just a quick one, and it doesn't mean anything? Or is it usually when you glance and make eye contact, just even if it's for a second, is it on purpose?
Maybe.
How conscious are you of that? I guess.
Very conscious. Well, I mean, if you can look at somebody because you think they're attractive, but maybe they weren't looking at you.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at them and they notice, like real quick, they'll look at you, and then there's a line that people say there's a line that you create when somebody between a guy and a girl.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as you just look at them, they feel it, and then you create this line. And maybe you won't look at them in the rest of the night, but then that line's still there, and then whenever you want, you can just look at them again, and they'll feel it. I don't know. It always happens to me. Like you look at somebody and they'll feel it. You know, if they're not looking at you, of course you'll stare, but not like this.
Right.
Just like.
Well, I think men tend to miss those little, like if a guy saw you looking at him like that, you know, he just caught your eye, he would start doubting, like, oh, she was just glancing around the room.
Yeah, then you have
she
to
didn't
do it
mean.
again.
Gotta do it.
Yeah.
Make sure. Okay.
Yeah, but later, and then you have to play like you don't. Well, that's what I do. You have to play like you don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Like I didn't even notice you, and then you you know,
Mm-hmm.
talking to your friends.
Is this a conscious thing that you are doing?
No, it just happens.
It just happens.
Now that I tell you, I notice that I do it.
Okay.
But in the moment, I'm not like, I'm going to look at him now, and then I'm just going to play like, no.
It seems like a lot of the women I've talked to are very conscious of the signals they send because they know that, you know, a lot of times guys doubt themselves and don't do anything. But a lot of times guys do act when it really wasn't an invitation.
Yeah.
And so women are cautious about that, not to give a guy an invitation.
Yeah.
You know,
well,
even if it's accidental.
I have a story that happened to me.
Great.
And I was in a party, and then there was this guy, but I'm very, like, I can, from far away, I see it really, like, blurry.
Mm-hmm.
I need glasses, so I look at this guy, and I was like, oh my god, he's so hot, so my type. So I just did this, just looking at him and just doing my stuff, and then he just noticed that I was like looking at him, and then he started doing the same. And at some point, it was the whole party. We didn't talk. The whole party, he was just looking at me and smiling, and then I just smiled. And at the end, I was just like, oh my god, I want him to get close to me and talk. He's so hot. And then he got close to me at the end. He had a huge mole in here that I didn't notice. And then he got close to me. I was just like, whoa. And then he wouldn't stop talking to me. And I was like, shit, why did I do that? Like, oh my god. And I was like, my friends were like, did you see this big, huge mole? It was like this big.
That was pretty bad.
He was hot, but not as hot as I thought, because and he was kind of dumb. He was like, yeah, so, are you having fun?
Okay.
And I'm just like, yeah. So, yeah, it's a funny story. I'm never doing that again. Like, really, really, like.
Make sure there's no moles.
Yeah.
It was hairy?
I don't know. I don't want to. I don't know. It was just a big, big, big thing coming out. So.
That actually makes me think, what if a guy's not traditionally good looking? Because you said, well, this guy's hot. Well, like, what's your type physically? What's your type?